Yo, how's it going? We're back. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while. I've been out in Portland and had a lot of projects to work on, so I haven't been able to make videos, but I'm back at it and coming at you full force. Today we have a video about something that I've done previously on my other channel, but a lot of you probably haven't seen it. I've gained a lot of subscribers since then, and it was actually suggested by a friend of ours, Ahkil. He asked if I could make another video on training journals. As you know, some of you know I'm an avid journal keeper. I keep quite a few journals and I'm a bit obsessive about it, but it's such a useful skill, and hopefully after this video, you'll be convinced you should get one as well. Now, there's a ton of benefits of actually keeping a training journal. One thing is you can write down your goals, and writing down your goals is a little bit more concrete than actually saying them. You can always be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, or one day I'm gonna be able to do this skill. You can always say that, but over time, you'll easily forget. But writing down, especially if you check your journal frequently, you can use it to re-motivate you and to remind you to continue pushing yourself to get those goals. And that's how you actually achieve success in whatever you're trying to do. So, it's a very good idea to keep a journal and just write down your goals, things that you want to do. But not only that, write down the steps you need to achieve those goals. Maybe make a little checklist and start checking them off. And I do that all the time. And it's, one reason why I've been able to gain such a high level skill and such a cleanness in my movement. It was just because it was just stuff that I wrote down, and I just kept reminding myself to keep working on those weaknesses, and eventually they became my strengths. Another tip I have for you is basically jotting down your daily rituals, basically things you need to do every day, things that are very important to you that day, and sticking to it, checking it off as you go. I go beyond that. Before I go to sleep, I have this little notebook, I keep this by my bed, and I jot down my goals every single day that I want to accomplish tomorrow. And basically I wake up, I read over what I have to do, and I begin checking them off as I go. So I find that to be really, really helpful and really important, not only alongside with my training journal, because I do take that into account when I'm writing in this, but also things like making videos for you guys or just other projects that I'm working on. I jot them down to make sure that I always spend time each day to work on those. Another thing I do, I like to jot down little pointers and advice I see just from observation or just meeting with other people. I've been meeting with a lot of people that do parkour, a lot of people with freerunning, with high level skills, also a lot of people in calisthenics and in fitness, and they've been giving me a lot of advice, and before I forget them, I try to write them down as soon as possible so I can utilize it for my own training, but not only that, to use it for videos for you guys. So, it's really important, to, as you're, filling up your journal, take observation of what you see other people do. If you see other people warm up a certain way, or do a certain thing that you like, or say something in conversation about training you never thought of, jot it down so you can remember it later on and apply it to your own training. Now, over time, you're gonna have, pages on pages of reflective notes on your training. And that's really important, because if you're ever feeling unmotivated to train, you can look back and see all the progress you made. Say you're just like, I just feel like I'm not progressing. And that's totally not true. You can look back at what you're working on months, years beforehand, and you'll be like, wow, I really am progressing, and it might push you to go further. Also, you can take note of certain habits that you were doing back then, and you can kind of see how that affects your training in the long run. So maybe you're doing like a certain workout every other day, and over like the course of like 2 or 3 months, you look back at your journal and see, what it was that you were doing that affected your training this certain way, and should you do more of it or should you do less of it, and kind of in between. So there's a lot of benefits of keeping it, but that's definitely a long-term goal, and it can be very difficult to do so if you're not as consistent. But I'm gonna give you a couple pointers in consistency. Now, when you're starting this, there's gonna be a couple things that you're gonna run into to keep you consistent with your journal keeping. One thing I suggest is that you write every night, you write after every training session, and you also keep your journal everywhere with you. Those are probably the 3 most important things. I take them pretty much everywhere I go for the most part. I take my training journal everywhere I go, but like I said, one of my daily goals, I keep that by my bed. So before I go to sleep, I have to pick it up to move out the way to go to sleep. So that reminds me, hey, write some stuff down before you go to sleep, and that's something that you can do to stay consistent. Another thing you can do is finding a system that works. If your journal's too jumbled up or whatever, it can be very difficult to keep track of what you're doing, and it might be discouraging to continue doing it. So one thing I do is I date every single event. So if I trained on this day, I date it, I say where I was and also what I worked on and things that I observed, and I do that every single time. Also with training tips, I was talking with so-and-so on this date and this happened, blah, blah, blah. And also reserving pages for certain things. Like I reserve pages for just mobility exercises that I find. So I write down a bunch of mobility exercises, make a little workout just on one page, and even if I don't fill it up and I need to write something else, I just go continue to the next page. And that's how you stay organized, and it'll help you with the consistency. Also for helping other people, if other people want to go through your journal or whatever, they'll be able to find the information they need and get benefit from it. So yeah, over the time I've had a couple experiences that might help you in the long run, a lot of which I've already given you, you know, right before you go to bed, date everything, but also finding a journal that is resilient and tough. So I used to use like a lot of just regular notebook paper that you find just, you know, at a Walmart or something, but it seems to break down over time. The pages get ripped out, and it became, you know, hard for me to keep it looking nice and presentable. So I got a bunch of really nice ones, and this helps a lot because if you actually spend money on your training journals, it might actually motivate you to keep writing. Because if you spend, you know, I probably spent like over, you know, the 40 bucks, 50 bucks easily on training journals on these 3 alone. So they're really hardcover. They also have like a little binding so they can keep the pages inside, so they're not going to get ripped out on accident. And they have a little bookmarking so you can keep track of where you are, or what you're writing on, or whatever. And yeah, these are my training journals. So with that, I'm going to end today's video. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, the like button, comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next, and if I can do it, definitely going to teach it to you. But until next time, train hard, be safe, catch you in the next video. Peace. Oh, also, I'm going to have 2 links down below, one to an article I wrote about training journals, and one on an article that I found to be really awesome in helping me start this journey. So if you're interested in that, click the links down below. See you later. Peace.